Good morning, students. This is Sampat Bhadu, Assistant Professor of English, Government College, Dungargarh, Bikaner. Today we are going to take up part 5 of the poem Rabbi ben Ezra. Let's take up the text. Enough now, if the right and good and infinite be named here, as thou called thy hand thine own, with knowledge absolute, subject to no dispute, from fools that crowded youth, nor let thee feel alone. It is enough for all days if it can come to a definite and final conclusion about absolute values like right, good, and God. Any doubts about them and their power must be cleared off and disappear in old age. All the uncertainties clouding them in the period of youth must be swept off during the old age. It is enough now, at this stage of our life, if one can discriminate between the right, the good, and the infinite. It is enough in this life. If a man can know what is good and what is bad as clearly and definitely as he knows his own hand, in one's youth, one is beset with foolish doubts and uncertainties which crowd in upon him from all sides. It is only in old age that all doubts are removed and one is perfectly sure of the right and the good. This knowledge and wisdom should give the old man courage and self-confidence to face the future. He need not suffer from a sense of loneliness and insecurity, for he was wisdom and experience to help him. It was wisdom and experience to help him and befriend him. Next. Be there for once and all, severed great minds from small, announced to each his station in the past. Was I, the world arranged? Were they, my soul disdained? Right. Let age speak the truth and give us peace at last. Old age must distinguish between the noble and the ignoble. Old man must finally decide whether he was in the wrong in the past or the world was wrong in passing judgment on his work. In old age, it would be possible for an old man to arrive at the truth by the accumulated experience of a lifetime. The great Jewish scholar continues to emphasize the value and significance of old age. With old age comes wisdom and discrimination, which enables the old man to judge and differentiate between what was foolish and what was wise, or what was low and what was high in his past time. In old age, he can correctly evaluate his own past actions as well as those of others and assign to them their proper place and value. Now, he can judge for himself whether the world which criticized him or he who looked down with contempt upon the world was right. He can now form a comparative estimate of his own youthful struggles and aspirations. Old age is not the period of struggle, it's the period of calm and quiet meditation and reflection. Let's take up the next stanza. Now, who shall arbitrate? 10 men love what I hate, shun what I follow. slight what I receive. 10, who in ears and eyes match me, we all surmise. They this thing, and I that. Whom shall my soul believe? During the period of youth, one is torn by the diversity and difference of opinions. Youth is likely to be lost in a welter of confusing and conflicting opinions. Youth does not know what to accept and what to reject. Youth is torn between conflicting opinions. Opinions differ widely from person to person. What he hates, says the Rabbi, is loved by many other people. What he follows and accepts is avoided and disliked by others. Men are all alike as far as their physical self is concerned. All have similar eyes and ears and other bodily organs. In this respect, all men are equals, but they differ widely in their conjectures, views, and opinions. Under the circumstances, it becomes difficult to decide which particular opinion is right and which is wrong. Man is bewildered and baffled with doubts and does not know what to accept as true and what to reject. Next stanza. Not on the vulgar mass called work must sentence pass. Things done that took the eyes and had the price, over which from level stand the low world laid its hand, found a straight way to its mind, could value in a trice. Though a man is commonly judged by his actual work and output by the people of the world, yet the judgment based on solid and tangible achievements need not be sound. It is a mistake to judge a man from what he has successfully achieved on the material plan. The real worth of a man should be judged by other standards. In the opinion of Rabbi ben Ezra, moral judgment should not be passed merely on the actual and solid achievements of a man in his life. Generally, people of the world pass judgment on the strength of actual work, which could be valued and prized, and which came to the standard from a lower standard or a level of judgment. The worth of a man must not be judged by his gross material activity called work. Such visible and tangible activity is easily noticed by the people and rewarded. People of the world judge things as a good which they can actually see, feel, or touch, and for which they can offer a price. Such work stands on the same low level as the common people themselves, and so they readily notice it, catch hold of it, accept it, and at once assess its value and significance. In Rabbi's opinion, accomplished facts and tangible results of one's labor should not be the criterion for judging the real worth of a man. Next stanza. But all the world's coarse thumb and finger failed to plumb, so past in making up the main account, all instincts immature, all purposes unsure, that weighed not as his work, yet swelled the man's amount. The standard by which the materialistic people of the world judge a man's worth is defective and incomplete. While passing judgment on man's life and his achievements, we should take into account not only his tangible achievements, but also all his aspirations and unaccomplished impulses that led him to action in life. The ordinary and vulgar people of the world can only measure and assess the tangible and visible achievements of a man, but these coarse and vulgar people, with their rough and ready methods of estimating the worth of a person, fail to fathom the hidden motives, impulses, and instincts which cause and inspire the outward action of a man. They pass them over in their preoccupation with their material and gross work. Undeveloped instincts, doubts, and uncertainties which trouble the soul are not considered by the world as of any worth at all. No importance is attached to them in this world, but such doubts and uncertainties, the hidden motives and impulses, are the real indications of the nobility and worth of a soul. The world may not value them, but they are valued highly by God. In the eyes of God, they add to the sum total of man's achievements. Next. Thoughts hardly to be packed into a narrow act, fancies that broke through language and escaped, all I could never be, all men ignored in me. This I was worth to God, whose wheel the picture shaped. People of the world ignore fine thoughts and fancies of a man in making judgment on his work if they find that they have no practical value. God certainly takes into account man's weak resolves, thoughts, fancies, etc., while making a judgment on his actual worth in his earthly existence. Man has many ideas and ideals which cannot be transformed into action. Often he has sublime and lofty notions which cannot be expressed in words and which are forgotten as soon as they arise in the mind. Man has many noble aspirations and ambitions which, however, he fails to achieve. He fails to live up to his own ideas and ideals. Such noble ideas and ideals are ignored by the vulgar and foolish people of the world. But God judges the worth of the man by such unrealized ideas and ideals. Here the poet compares human life and destiny to a pitcher and God to a potter. It is God who molds human destiny as a potter molds a pitcher. Hence, man should care for the judgment of God and not that of man. Next, we will take up tomorrow. That's all for today, and I hope that tomorrow we will finish this poem. Thank you. Have a nice day.